Welcome to ESPN's College Football, presented by Cars.com. A huge day for the Big Ten Conference begins in Madison at Camp Randall Stadium as Wisconsin welcomes Fresno State. The Bulldogs have 14 wins this decade against BCS automatic qualifiers. Meanwhile, the Badgers battling the flu bug earlier in the week, but everyone expected to play today. Dave Pasch alongside Bob Greasy, Chris Spielman. Guys, a potential perception-changing day for the Big Ten, with Michigan hosting Notre Dame, Ohio State, USC tonight, and this game also an opportunity for detractors to continue to pile on the Big Ten.
Well, I think you got to look at it as an opportunity for the Big Ten. Those two biggest games are at home for the Big Ten, at Ohio State and at Michigan.
Well, the reality is they're not very good, and they have a chance to change that. And the only way by changing it is not talk about it, but do it right there between the lines, and we'll see that play out all day today.
A lot of close calls last week. Ohio State Navy, we were there for that. Also, Iowa barely getting by Northern Iowa, and Wisconsin having to hold on against Northern Illinois after leading for most of that game. Fresno State will receive. Wisconsin won the toss and defers. Philip Welch booting it away. A.J. Jefferson, one of the best return men in the country a couple of years ago, across the 25 and out near the 28-yard line. Today's Impact Players presented by Dave & Buster's.
First of all, you got Ryan Colburn for the first time. Pat Hill feels like he has a deep ball thrower in Ryan Matthews. Fresno State is 13-2 when Big Ryan carries the rock as a starter. And A.J. Jefferson, not only an impact return man, but stout out there in the corner.
Colburn, a first-year starter. Going back to high school, he's won his last 26 starts. Of course, there were a few years in between starts, as he was the backup to Tom Brandstater the last couple of years. From the Fresno State 28-yard line into the flat, it goes to Ryan Matthews, and he might have lost a yard. Aaron Henry, the corner, comes up and makes the play. Starting lineups at the top of your screen.
Both of these teams, Dave, like to run the football, but they both will spread it out, spread you from sideline to sideline and run the football. Both quarterbacks are getting their first starts of the season last week, so they're both making their second starts here today.
13th year for Pat Hill, and Fresno State used to these trips east and to the Midwest, and they've got a lot of wins on the road over the years against automatic qualifiers, as Lanye Miller picks up maybe 3, tackled by Devin Smith.
Well, here's the matchup that Dave Doran was concerned about. The outstanding athletes that Fresno State has on the corners with Marlon Moore, Sei Ajir Tutu, Chaston West, Devin Wiley. Can they match up man-to-man? Look for them when they pressure, as far as Wisconsin goes, to bring zone pressure, because they feel like athletically they can't hang with a man-to-man all day.
Colburn's pass deflected and then incomplete, almost intercepted by Anthony Maines, who is on the ground.
That's the freshman from Dayton, Ohio, Kettering-Alden High School, Chris Borland. They say what an athlete he is at 5'11". There's not anything he can do. And right there, a good recognition of getting in the air, timing it right, and basically blocking the shot.
Robert Malone to punt. David Gilreath back to receive for the Badgers.
Kind of an unusual formation to punt from.
And it takes a great bounce inside the 10-yard line. It'll be downed at the 9. Terrific punt by Robert Malone. Our Impact Players for Wisconsin, presented by Dave & Buster's.
Isaac Anderson, a wide receiver. He's got big-time speed. 2 touchdowns in last week's ball game. Tight end Garrett Graham, all Big Ten last year, 9 career touchdowns. He is their go-to guy. And Chris Maragos, 5 years ago, he came in as a walk-on. He is now their captain and leader.
Following in the footsteps of Jim Leonard, who was a terrific safety here at Wisconsin, former walk-on as well, now a starter in the NFL with the Jets. After a 59-yard punt, the Badgers start from their 9-yard line. A running play on first down, and whacked in the backfield is Zach Brown by Chris Lewis. A little bit different than the first play for Wisconsin last week, an 80-yard touchdown pass as you look at the starting lineups up top.
And the one problem when we watch film is that Wisconsin's offensive line has trouble fitting. And what I mean by that, they do not get square on their blocks and they get out of position. And when you have quick, athletic defensive linemen like Fresno State has, that can be a big problem. And right there, quickness beat the bulk.
And look at the difference there. 324 the average for Wisconsin's offensive line. Another running play, this time John Clay. And he gets maybe 3 to the 35. Kyle Knox made the stop. Fresno State's defense at the top of your screen.
And this defense was not ranked very high last year in stopping the run or getting turnovers. They were last in the league in the WAC in getting turnovers and 108th against the run last year. So you would think that Wisconsin could do a little business on the ground here today.
And Tolzien to throw. Looked good last week. That pass off the mark. Probably lucky it wasn't intercepted. Garrett Graham, the intended receiver, but Kyle Knox had a better chance to catch it for Fresno State.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how big an injury this is. If Fredericks cannot come back in the ballgame. He was their backup center, as we mentioned, a true freshman. Now they go with their third guy. The exchange from quarterback to center, the quarterback's got to worry about that every snap.
Brad Nortman to boot it. Chasten West and Devin Wiley are back. Fresno State had 4 returns for touchdowns on special teams last year.
And they've blocked a bunch of punts over the years.
Blocked a punt against Wisconsin last year and a field goal. This time a great punt as Wiley is backed up, fielding it inside the 10, gets a huge block and crosses the 25. Still inbound all the way out to the 41. The Badger coaches said they were scared of this guy, Devin Wiley, because of the speed. He also got a great block and out near the 40-yard line. 10:42 to go, opening quarter. No score in Madison. Travis Frederick carted off the second string center, who is now the starter, and so you've got a third string center now for Wisconsin. That'll be a factor today. Also a factor today, the speed of Fresno State, as we saw in that last punt return.
Well, they have it at running back, big play, aggressive, explosive players, and also at return guys.
Well, absolutely. And the thing I like about it, along with that speed and athleticism, at least from my point of view, the offensive line is very physical. That's a Pat Hill trademark.
Colburn to throw, and there's Wiley again, who had that great punt return and gets good yardage on first down. Gang tackled by Jay Valai and Aaron Henry after a gain of about 5 or 6.
They know that Wisconsin's a zone football team, and so when you play a soft zone like Wisconsin does, you want to short pass them and test their patience. Pretty soon, if you keep short passing them, the patience might wear thin on some of those DBs. They'll come up, then you hit them with a double move. Fake the short pass, go deep.
You'll see, guys, about 3 or 4 different tailbacks in the game for Fresno State. This is true freshman Robbie Rouse. Very dangerous, but not this time, as Maragos got off a block, made a great play, minimal gain on second down. Wisconsin starting defensive players at the top of your screen here in a scoreless game. 9:47 to go in the opening quarter.
There goes the leader. Actually, Jimmy Leonard kind of mentored him through safety for the Jets this offseason. That's a good guy to learn from, Chris.
Colburn with a quick throw, wide open is Marlon Moore. Big cushion by the corner, Aaron Henry, and it's a first down for Fresno State.
It's like Chris just mentioned, you know, they're playing a deep zone. It's 3rd and 5. That's like a gimme.
Oh, it's too easy.
So why do it then?
Well, because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself against the speed of Fresno. Eventually, you got to come up. If you're going to play that, well, come up and jam them at the line of scrimmage and do a bail. Then get deep. But don't give them the pitch and catch right off the get-go.
Matthews trying to pick a hole. It's not there. O'Brien Schofield and Jay Valai stand up the running back for no gain.
Jay Valai, Schofield.
Fresno State coming off a 51-0 win over UC Davis last week, and including this game, their next 3 games are in different time zones, as Pat Hill will go back home to play Boise State in what could be a huge game Friday night on ESPN. And then they go to Hawaii and Cincinnati in between there. Colburn on second down. Again, look at that cushion. West with the catch. And he gets an extra 5 or 6 yards, pushing past the marker for another first down.
Well, this is a good job by Jeff Grady, offensive coordinator from Fresno State, recognizing the cover 3 zone. And Henry's doing his job. Aaron Henry's doing his job. He's got deepest of deepest. He's playing that cushion. Now here's where he does not do his job. You come up and tackle, you don't grab the man and kind of drag him down. You better come up with some bad intentions and put your face through the football and drive your feet. That's how you eliminate yards after catch.
Offensive guys hate to hear that. Yeah. bad intentions?
Yeah.
I notice how you move closer to me.
Yeah.
Andrew said that.
I'm just coming over near you. He's getting fired up.
First down, inside the 15, and West makes the catch and is in right on cue, as Wisconsin's defense continues to give that huge cushion to the Fresno State receivers, and they paid for it.
Well, they spread them out, as Chris said. Empty set, receivers all the way across, just a little slant route. Pick your poison, you know, just pick whatever guy's open. You know, they were open all the way down the field.
And a double slant. You had 3 guys jump the first inside cut of the slant, leaving the second guy outside with room to work. Chasten West catches, catchable ball on the run. Result, 6+1.
And Gessling's extra point makes it 7-0 Fresno State. As the Bulldogs strike first in Madison, Ryan Colburn's second touchdown pass of the season, first of the year for Chasten West. Back in Madison, Fresno State leading Wisconsin 7-0. And so far, Pat Hill doing a good job juggling these early road trips. Got Madison, got to go to Hawaii, and also Cincinnati over the next few weeks. Ryan Colburn, his quarterback, perfect on that last drive. Chasten West with the game's first touchdown. Gessling's kickoff taken at the 14-yard line. Brady Ewing with a good return out near the 35. They'll run it, John Clay, and good job at the point of attack by Chris Carter of Fresno State.
They're the 2 centers talking. That is Moffitt, the starting center. He's really a good player. Frederick got hurt. He's talking there to Cons. There's Frederick. He's back out. But Wisconsin offensively is dealing with a shock in that huddle. And that is, every time they look and see the third-team center there, they go into shock because he's got to make the plays. He's got to make the calls. It's just tough.
Tolzien on play action. Good throw that time. Finds Nick Toon at the 32-yard line. You hear the sounds of Toon raining down from the fans here at Camp Randall.
That's the matchup Paul Christ was talking about. We're going to find out how good Nick Toon is right here. He's working off the safety, coming up to A.J. Jefferson, gives him a little leg, takes it away, comes with the out cut. Outstanding job of catching the ball with his hands. Tolzien, Bob, giving the guy a throwing football, something that Wisconsin has not been able to have. A guy throwing the football so the guy can make a catch on the run, so he can do some work after he makes the catch.
And Nick Toon, by the way, the son of Al Toon, former Badger great, NFL wide receiver. Running play on first down, and again, not much for Clay. Lauren Bell sticking his face in there from his safety position, made the hit.
You know, if you're a pulling guard, you got to get your rear end up through the hole. He's sitting there stutter stepping at the line of scrimmage, and you notice that John Clay had a stutter step. You see that hole, and you got to get your rear end up through that hole so you don't slow the running back. Right there, Zeitler was slow hitting the hole, making the running back slow hitting the hole.
Tolzien rolling out, throws on the run, and Toon couldn't come up with an incomplete. You know, the other issue for Wisconsin guys is how the flu has impacted those offensive linemen. The guy that's right to the left of Peter Cons, the center, Jake Bashir, until yesterday was not practicing, and Gabe Karimi was impacted by the flu last weekend against Northern Illinois. He said he slept 13 hours the night before the game.
He said Tuesday's practice was a nightmare. He said they didn't have, half of their team was out there, half of them were sick. And slowly but gradually they started coming back and back, getting some of them back Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now they're back to almost to full speed.
And Tolzien, the man came free, but Tolzien broke a tackle, and then he gets drilled at the 30-yard line by Lauren Bell. He got the 5 yards back, and it'll be about a 47 or 48-yard field goal when we start the second quarter.
The speed on the edges is creating havoc for the big fellas on the edges for Wisconsin.
Fresno State 7, Wisconsin nothing after 1 in Madison. Excellent first quarter for Fresno State. Wisconsin ended the period on the 30-yard line, and so Philip Welch, who was 0 for 2 last week, missing from 41 and 55, will attempt a 47-yard field goal. He made a 52-yarder earlier in his career. Has the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right.
It's 0 for 3. Can't give away points against a strong Fresno team. You got to be able to convert.
Although that was a long field goal, 47 yards.
Well, and
for a high school
the
kid.
flip from one end of the field to the other didn't have any bearing on the kick, because the wind is not. There's no wind here today.
Good point.
Well, he's got to make that. I mean, he's a Big Ten kicker. Plenty of leg. You got to make the kick. That's it.
47-yarder.
47-yarder.
Tough.
Knock it down.
Tough.
That's a long field goal.
Yeah, back when there were straight toe kickers and super toes where you pound the dude on the head.
I remember those days. I was one.
Colburn to throw on first down. Going to go deep, as you guys said he might. Wiley is there. Inside the 20. Touchdown, Fresno State. You guys called that on the last drive, that would be the adjustment, and there it was. Devin Smith got toasted.
It's punch, counter punch, punch, counter punch. Wiley was the guy that brought fear into Brett Bielema. Take a look. First of all, there's a little double move, outside release, and it's just speed on speed. What happens is the corner looks back for the football, and Devin Smith, and as he looks back, Wiley just gains ground. Bob, throw up the air ball, let him run under it. Go celebrate.
He was up there and jamming, bump and run, just ran around him. Wiley's only 5'7", 5'9", and 170 pounds. So he's a midget with a lot of speed.
And a 70-yard touchdown catch. Pat Hill's motto is anybody, anywhere, any place. And apparently at any time, because it's 9:45 in the morning out in Fresno. Great balance offensively for the Bulldogs so far as they lead 14-0 in Madison.
He talked about the threat of the long ball now present with Ryan Colburn, which he felt was missing from their offense the past few years.
70-yard touchdown pass to a guy that the Wisconsin coaches were worried about. Devin Wiley's had some big plays on special teams and on offense. Here's David Gildereath looking for a seam. It's there at the 30. And the kicker pushes him out of bounds around the 45. And only 33 yards of total offense to 135 for Fresno State. Time for Tolzien, finds Garrett Graham, his tight end, for a first down to the 45-yard line.
You got to get back to what you do best. And Garrett Graham is their go-to guy, and he has not caught a pass in this game up until that one right there.
I'll tell you, Tolzien did a nice job with his eyes, Bob. You can see his growth looking off the defense and coming back to Garrett Graham without hesitation, trusting that his receiver would be at the right depth in the right space to make the throw. Huge trust.
Here's Zach Brown to the 42. Ben Jacobs, 3-year starter and middle linebacker for the Bulldogs, made the hit. Michigan hosts Notre Dame on ABC at 3:30. Ohio State entertains USC tonight on ESPN. You got this game. You also have Purdue going to Oregon. A huge day for the Big Ten in terms of whether perception will be changed or whether the detractors will pile on this conference. All right, now not a good start. And Tolzien got rid of it and completed it. What a play as he got drilled, finding Garrett Graham at the 30-yard line.
Okay, this is a blitz. The two safeties inside. That's Bell. Here they come. Watch these guys right up in there, Chris. You'll love this. This guy's blitzing.
Well, I like more Tolzien sitting in there making a throw, knowing he's going to get a shot to the ribs, throwing off the back foot with a flick of the wrist, and throwing it on time to his trustworthy tight end Graham.
Back to the ground, and again, not a lot of running room for Zach Brown. Maybe two.
It's easy to make a tackle as a middle linebacker if nobody touches you. And what I mean, Wisconsin is not getting up to the second level. That time, Ben Jacobs takes one step up into the line of scrimmage. He has no big red jersey in his face and just slides into the gap and delivers a blow. It's easy to make those tackles when you don't have to fight off 350 pounds.
Tolzien going deep, and he overthrew Gilreath, the intended receiver. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. A.J. Jefferson with good coverage downfield.
Watch the center. He's inside. He had a little trouble with the pass protection, forcing the ball to be thrown early. Take a look in here. Let's take a look. Right there. See, oh, he comes with a twist. Tough duty on the twist, although the pressure came from the outside. And that's how you confuse a young center.
Is it Cons?
Cons. That's how you confuse a young center, as you start running twists in games with those defensive linemen and get movement in front of his face.
Frederick still working on the Wisconsin sideline, trying to come back from an injury earlier in the game. 3rd and 8. Tolzien creates room with his feet and throws a strike inside the 15-yard line to Gilreath. Great job in the pocket by Tolzien.
Sometimes the quarterback has to buy some time, move around. Everything's not going to be perfect. You just got to move around a little bit, keep your eyes downfield, and just get the ball downfield. That wasn't a perfect throw, but he had to move around and throw around some people. It's a 1st down and goal for Wisconsin. This is a big, big drive for the Badgers.
Yeah, 3-man rush. Opposite of what Fresno State has been doing all game with the pressures.
Here's Brown to the outside, to the 5, heading for the pylon. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Zach Brown with his first rushing touchdown of the season from 11 yards out. Got a good block from Lance Kendricks on the outside, the number 2 tight end. And the point after by Welch is good.
We got on Kevin Zeitler about not getting shoulders turned upfield. Take a look at big number 70, Kevin Zeitler. Log him inside, Kevin. And by the way, Kyle Jefferson, that a way to do it, buddy.
Back in Madison, where Wisconsin is finally on the board. 14-7, though, Fresno State on top. Full house again here at Camp Randall Stadium. 8-play, 56-yard scoring drive. Zach Brown with an 11-yard touchdown run. Philip Welch will kick off. A.J. Jefferson will return it for Fresno State. Breaks a tackle at the 15, a flag down. Jefferson goes high in the air as he gets undercut, but is okay as he gets drilled by William Hartman. And we've seen him have some big plays on special teams already in this game. Here's one of the better young running backs in the nation. True freshman Robbie Rouse into Wisconsin territory to the 47-yard line.
Don't forget about the running game for Fresno State. We've been talking about the wide receivers. Look at the blocking up front. Big 79 is at Cunningham, the left guard. talking to Brett Bielema yesterday, and he mentioned Bernardi, the center, and Jackson, the right guard, as two of the best offensive linemen he's seen in a while.
And I'll agree with that after watching the film. They do a great job of combo blocking and getting to the next level, essentially blocking two players on one play.
That pass tipped and incomplete. So it'll bring up second down. Here's today's Aflac trivia question. The Camp Randall grounds was a military training site for which armed conflict? You guys know?
Chris got that one. He's watching the History Channel last night.
I don't understand it, but I got it.
Answer coming up. Here's Ryan Matthews. And he gets to the second level. That offensive line getting off the ball, and a gain of about 6 or 7.
We had him stopped for no gain. You got to make a tackle, but I'm telling you guys, that's 3 times in a row where they do the speed option or the speed zone play. Now look for the fake. Ryan Colburn keeping the football, either to throw or run, but that's his 3rd time in a row. Right there you see Ryan Matthews breaking the tackle with Blake Sorensen, and the big hitter, Jay Valai, from the safety position. Ryan Matthews is a player.
Colburn looking for Wiley all the way and finds him across the middle inside the 30-yard line for a gain of about 15.
That time the corner Finellis on that side was up in press coverage, and still Wiley got a little slant route on him. Take a look at the protection. Colburn's looking right all the way, and that started with a bump and run. Finellis just let him inside.
You can't let him, you're right, you can't let him inside. Use your sideline as your friend, not as your enemy. Force him out.
Well, Pat Hill and Fresno State this decade 14 wins against BCS automatic qualifiers. That's number 2 behind Utah. They won at Rutgers and at UCLA last year. But Fresno State's problem has been in conference. They have not won an outright WAC title in Pat Hill's tenure. Rouse on the carry on first down gets maybe 2 to the 15. I mean, you look at Fresno State. 9 of the last 10 years, Pat Hill's gone to a bowl game. They've beaten some excellent teams. Remember that great game with USC many years ago and a Fresno State loss? But they have never lost fewer than 2 regular season WAC games. Why do you think that is?
Well, you've had some pretty good WAC teams. Let's go back. Boise State, awful good. Hawaii had a bunch of good seasons in there.
Is it possible that they beat themselves up by playing this tough non-conference schedule?
I think that's part of it also.
10th play of the drive, and that pass deflected again and nearly intercepted. So it'll bring up 3rd and long.
And if you're going to run the screen and you want to take advantage of space, don't run it to the short side of the field, because right there you're getting all the pursuit. They don't have to run as far. Yes, they don't have to use as much speed.
It's J.J. Watt on the outside doing a nice job. If you can't get there, defensive linemen, get your hands up. Quarterbacks hate when the defensive linemen get their hands up.
Play clock at 2. Colburn got it off, going end zone, got a man, touchdown. Sei Ajira-Tutu wide open for the Fresno State score.
It's too easy. Antonio Finellis started out in the press, backed off. Watch him starting in the press. You see him backing off. He's going to run it in and out. Take a look. There's the inside move. Finellis jumps on it and just pitch and catch for Ajira. 2-2 for 6.
Kevin Gessling was shaken up earlier. Back on to try the point after, and it is 21-7. Wisconsin got momentum back after it scored, but how about the Bulldogs marching right back down the field? Welcome back to Madison, where Wisconsin is down by 14. Lakes Mendota and Monona, always beautiful to look at this time of year. Not a pretty sight here if you're a Badger fan in Camp Randall Stadium. They're down by 2 touchdowns here in the first half. Gessling kicking off to Gilreath at the 9-yard line. Gilreath hit at the 30, broke a tackle. And finally caught from behind at the 46-yard line. Well, today's Aflac trivia question. The Camp Randall grounds a military training site for which armed conflict? What do you say, guys?
Civil War.
You are correct. And also served as living quarters for students in military in the 1940s. One of the more historic venues in college football. And Camp Randall Stadium opened in 1917. It is the 4th oldest stadium in the country. Underwent major renovations in 2005 as John Clay able to shake out of an ankle tackle and cross midfield to the 47-yard line of Fresno State. Got about 6. Wisconsin in trouble here in the first half, down 2 scores with Bob Greasy, Chris Spielman. I'm Dave Pasch. We talked at the outset about how big of a day this is for the Big Ten, with, of course, Michigan and Ohio State later, but also this one in terms of perception. And right now, Fresno State able to do whatever it wants through the air, over 150 yards passing.
They came in confident, too. Pat Hill is confident in his team. Starters back from last year, veteran group, and they're answering the bell as of now.
But Tolzien has made some plays with his arm so far. And finds Isaac Anderson. Wrapped up by Dunn at the 35. First down, Wisconsin. Tolzien finds Graham inside the 20-yard line. Inside the 10 of Fresno State.
He was one of our impact players. He is their go-to guy, a tight end, all conference. This guy can play, he can catch, he can block, comes off the line of scrimmage. Tolzien goes to roll away and then throws back. That's just good execution.
There you go.
Just very nice job.
I think it's pretty clear, too, that Tolzien is one of the better passing quarterbacks Wisconsin's had in a while.
I think you're right. I think the first thing that Wisconsin wants to do offensively is run the football. But once you get that going, then you can throw it.
Here's Clay. And they really haven't been able to run the football today.
Yeah.
They can't there.
That's why I think you keep running or throwing the run. I think you throw on first down and throw on second down and loosen them up and get high percentage passes. And what I'm impressed with, Bob, with Tolzien is his eyes. Right that time he had Gilbreth in the flat. He looked right at Gilbreth, which forced Bisa Dunn to jump up on that flat route, and here comes the route behind. One in front, one behind. You use your eyes to manipulate the defensive backs, and that's what he's doing.
He threw for 257 last week, the most ever by a Wisconsin quarterback in his first career start. He's at 100 yards right now.
There's Graham.
Instead, an end around to Gilreath. Blockers in front. Cut it back to the 5. Touchdown, Wisconsin. The second rushing touchdown on an end around this season by a Wisconsin wide receiver. Isaac Anderson had one last week. Gilreath's first touchdown of the year, tack on 1, and the Badgers within 7.
Gilreath coming back, a wide receiver. Watch the block. Garrett Graham gets right there.
Well, that's one way to get your running game going. The end around for a touchdown for the second straight week.
Bob mentioned it. Watch Graham right here. Hey, guess what? Special. 2 for 1. 1. I'm not quitting. 2. Gilreath, get in, baby.
You know, they had Travis Beckham here last week.
Yeah.
He was another tight end, but Graham is a much better blocker.
As witnessed.
And Travis.
And Gilreath has been effective on the return, so why not ride the hot hand, put the ball in his hands.
Beckham now in the NFL, left a year early. He's with the Giants, a third-round draft pick. A.J. Jefferson on the return for Fresno State. And gets slowed up at the 30-yard line and then could not break another tackle. Stumbles forward to the 34, but a very good return by Jefferson. Fresno State pretty good on third down so far. Wiley with a catch and breaks a tackle at midfield. And Wiley has just killed the Wisconsin defense today.
They've got big play people, explosive people on the outside and in the backfield. I'm impressed with the quarterback, Colburn, how well he's played today, how he's got the ball right in where it should be. And if he does miss, he misses on the long side where it's safe and not underthrowing it.
Yeah, he's making guys with catchable balls so they can do work after. They're not having to work to catch the ball. That ball's on target.
Don't forget, Boise State is up next for Fresno State. That game in Fresno on Friday night here on ESPN. Pitch to Matthew. Hit in the backfield. Still going. And then finally brought down. Loss of 3 or 4. There's Matthews. Now to get back to the original line of scrimmage. O'Brien Schofield made the tackle of the captains for the Badgers.
And this is a third down opportunity for Wisconsin. You have 3rd and 12. You can play zone, but understand where the sticks are. And by the way, boys, what helps the zone defense is a little bit of a pass rush. Well, let's see what we get.
Well, they picked up a 3rd and 9 earlier on this drive.
There's Schofield right here. These are big play defensive linemen.
That passed a little bit too much on it. Overthrown, incomplete. And it's 4th down.
That's really the first poor pass I've seen Colburn throw today.
Darren Newborn, the intended receiver, and Fresno State will punt.
And a good job by the defensive backs and the linebackers of understanding where the first down marker was and keeping everybody in front of them, thus keeping them in front of the marker.
Robert Malone will punt to Gilreath, who had the rushing touchdown the last time he touched it. It'll bounce at the 5 and go into the end zone. There is a penalty flag down. Wisconsin started this drive at its 8-yard line. Now 1st down from the 20. They're going to keep it on the ground with Clay. He splatters the pile of the 23. Ben Jacobs in there for Fresno State. We'll see if the Bulldogs call their final timeout. Wisconsin appears content to go into the locker room down 7.
And the fans don't understand. I mean, they're booing those run calls. You know, we got 50 seconds left to play, 40 seconds, 20, 35. You know, this is a smart thing to do. You don't want to put it up in the air. It may get picked off. You may get sacked. You may get knocked the ball out. Just run the ball out. Give your back a chance to do something.
Well, now they're going to throw, play fake, and go deep for Anderson. He's got it. 1st down to the 32-yard line.
That's a great call. That's a great call. Paul Chryst, the offensive coordinator. You know, if you're going to do anything, do that. Throw it deep down the field and throw it away.
Bad call. Randy Stewart, what are you doing playing man?
Just when you thought Wisconsin might be content to go in the locker room down 7, a 44-yard play-action pass to Isaac Anderson from Scott Tolzien.
Bob's right. Chris makes a great call. I don't understand Randy Stewart, the defensive coordinator's call. Why are you in man-to-man coverage when they're trying to run the clock out? Be smart. At least put a safety back there to help your guy so that doesn't happen.
Tolzien going to get sacked. Chris Carter right around Josh Oglesby, the right tackle. Back at the 40-yard line, loss of about 6 or 7.
We talked about Carter earlier in the game. The little small defensive end, 230 pounds, is outweighed 100 pounds. Number 43, Oglesby outweighs him 100 pounds, and he just runs around him. I don't think Oglesby ever touched him.
We'll do a bracket coverage here. They're showing blitz. Their safeties jump out of there to play the middle of the field.
Tolzien trying to set up the screen to the tight end Graham, and actually had he caught it, he might have had room to run on that far side.
They did. They really did.
Well, they had to play because what happens, the centers vacated the field. The safeties, excuse me, the safeties are up there inside, showing blitz, blitz, blitz. Then before the snap, they turn and run and give help deep in the middle of the field.
Good call here to go for the field goal, or would you run one more play with 7 seconds left?
No.
And a timeout.
Go for the field goal.
It's a 57-yard attempt by a guy who's not made one yet this year. He's 0 for 3, missed a 47-yarder earlier. Missed a 55-yarder last week against Northern Illinois.
He's got to drive this ball. It's going to be a low kick, so if you're Fresno, hands up quick.
It has the leg. And it's good. A career-long 57-yard bomb by Philip Welch to give the Badgers 3 more points.
We talked about he missed the 47-yarder. That's why I said he should have made it, because he's good from 57 with a lot of leg left.
Wisconsin has scored on their last 3 possessions, and even though they were down, didn't play well defensively, they go in at halftime with the momentum.
Down only 4 to Fresno State. 21-17 Bulldogs at halftime. Now the Bud Light halftime report, and Reese Davis. 10 straight points by Wisconsin and the half to get within 4 of Fresno State. Kevin Gessling will kick off to David Gilreath. Instead, it'll be taken by one of the upmen, Holland, and he runs into his own guy. Tackled at the 23-yard line.
You know, you got to know your role. And one of the roles is let Gilreath catch the ball. So I'm sure that'll be addressed in the meetings.
Well, guys, Wisconsin has momentum, but can they stop Ryan Colburn in this Fresno State passing attack? 3 touchdowns through the air in that first
Very
half.
impressed with Colburn and what he's done. Like you said, 3 touchdowns. They come out and they've scored. They've put in pressure on Wisconsin.
Well, this is where coordinators earn their money.
Yeah.
And what kind of adjustments are Wisconsin going to make? We'll find out what they do on offense. We'll find out what they do on defense. And we'll see if Fresno can still exploit the matchups out on the edges as far as receivers and defensive backs.
Here's Zach Brown. Good push. Out to the 25-yard line. There was Peter Kahns, the third-string center out there making a block.
He's doing one of the most difficult things for a center to do, and that's pulling. And Peter Kahns has answered the challenge. Started off a little nervous, but got into the flow of the game. They did a down block with the guard. Peter Kahns pulls around and does a nice job, Bob.
And if you just joined us, Kahns is in there because of the injury to the Fredericks, and Moffitt, the starting center, is not playing. So this is getting down to the third-string center playing for Wisconsin.
Brown on 2nd and 4. He's looking for the outside. And he could not keep his feet. Still got 2 or 3. He'll come up just short of the first down. Disha done there for Fresno State defensively. How about both turnovers by Fresno State coming in Wisconsin territory? They've been able to move the ball. Wisconsin hasn't stopped them. The Bulldogs have stopped themselves. Pat Hill trying to get his defense fired up to make a play on 3rd and 1. Play action on 3rd and short. Tolzien creates space to throw and finds a man, Toon. First down at the 43-yard line.
I love the way Toon worked back to the football. Created separation from the defensive back, but he didn't stay in position, Bob. He comes back to the quarterback to make that throw easier for the quarterback and to continue to create separation between him and the DB.
He wasn't the primary receiver. Hendricks on the other side, the tight end, was.
And around Gilreath, he scored on a similar play earlier in the game. That time tripped up at midfield by Nico Herron. 4-point game here in Madison on 2nd and 4. Tolzien with tons of time. Again, rifles it complete to Zach Brown to the 42. Another Badger first down.
And what they're doing, Bob, you called it. They're putting a tight end and helping out the tackles when Chris Carter's rushing. That time they had Chris Carter double team. That's a good adjustment by Paul Christ and his staff. Not putting those tackles on an island if they can't handle it.
Paul Christ, one of the highest paid offensive coordinators in college football, and a good reason why. He's done a heck of a job wherever he's been. In his 4th year here at Wisconsin as the offensive coordinator. His father was a coach here. Paul and his brothers Rick and Jeet grew up in this area. Running play. first down, nowhere to go. Eric Smith, true freshman, and Moses Harris was all over it.
And the safety, Harris, the strong safety, just came up and showed an 8th man in the box, and that's exactly where they ran the ball. Tozine probably should have checked out of that play.
Go opposite. Usually when you check out of a run, it's opposite.
Yeah.
You run away from the safety.
You know, you don't know, though, because you've got a redshirt freshman center in there that wasn't supposed to play center today. You don't know what you can do and what you can't do.
Very balanced offensively. They just have not been able to get it going on the ground. Kyle Jefferson on the catch right at the first down marker, or excuse me, the original line of scrimmage, because of the loss on first down. Again, Moses Harris and Desha Dunn make the tackle on Jefferson.
Now on 3rd and long, when Fresno does play man, he likes Toon. And also, of course, Garrett Graham, but Toon has been his guy. And that's the matchup that Paul Christ was looking for. Toon one-on-one out in space.
Left a high-scoring first half, nothing in the 3rd quarter. We'll see what the Badgers come up with on 3rd and long as we go to the 4th in Madison. Jump around has become a tradition in between the 3rd and 4th quarters here at Camp Randall Stadium, regardless of the score, and the Badgers trail as Tolzien goes to Toon on 3rd and long, and he could not come up with an incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down, and good stop by this Fresno State defense, coordinated by Randy Stewart.
Well, that's the guy. I mean, we talked about it going to break, that Toon is his guy on 3rd down in man-to-man coverage. He wins his battle against Damian Owens, but the ball was poorly underthrown.
Well, you know, and that ball was probably in the air too when the defensive man jammed him, because as soon as he turned out, the ball was coming.
You're up here jamming me now, Bob.
Yeah.
Careful, young man.
It's the only time I ever got to hit a defensive guy.
Nortman's punt. Opportunity to be downed, and they got it at the 1-yard line. Chris Borland, who's been all over the place on special teams, does it again.
True freshman. Knowing what to do.
It's not the feet, it's the ball.
The Student Union will be quite an atmosphere if Wisconsin comes back to win this game. All right, now everybody hanging out, getting ready for the 5th quarter here in Madison. That's if Wisconsin comes back to win. Fresno State has turned it over on its last 2 possessions, and they run it on first down from the 1 and get maybe 2. Anthony Harding, the ball carrier. All right, Reese, it's a 4-point game here. Fresno State has been backed up inside its 5 in the last 2 drives. Harding trying to find a hole. And he gets to the 5, so a couple more. J.J. Watt on the stop.
Little dilemma for Dave Dorn, the defensive coordinator for Wisconsin. Do I go ahead and press him because it's 3rd and 6 and take away the short routes, or am I safe and play zone? I mean, he's got to make the call. Do I trust my guys or don't I? We're going to find out.
And offensively, Jeff Grady, the offensive coordinator, says, do I throw from my own end zone? My quarterback has thrown 2 interceptions on the last 2 possessions.
Got to play to win. There's the man matchup up top.
Colburn will throw, finds Ajira Tutu for the first down. 1-on-1 with Brinkley, and Ajira Tutu won that battle out to the 15-yard line.
It's a nice route by Ajira Tutu, pushing Brinkley up the field, forcing Brinkley to get out of his back pedal and turn his shoulders a little bit. This is a good job of selling. See, he's out of his backfield, knows where the sticks are, and Brinkley comes up and makes a tackle, but a smart veteran play by Ajira Tutu, running past the sticks so he can work to come back to the football.
Some movement perhaps, but Wisconsin not going to win that one. Running to the outside is Matthews, and he got maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Brinkley on the tackle. Here at Camp Randall Stadium with Bob Greasy and Chris Spielman, I'm Dave Pash. Big games for the Big Ten on ESPN and ABC today, starting here in Madison. Fresno State's offense has stopped itself. Wisconsin's defense really hasn't. 2 turnovers by the Bulldogs in a half. Still a 4-point lead. There's a pass to Hamler on the run, and he trips at the 20-yard line. Got 2 or 3. Colburn pump, lobbing it for a Giratutu. What a throw. Put that thing right on the money to the Wisconsin 45-yard line.
Double move. They double moved him. We talked about that was a sluggo. What a sluggo is, show him, Bob, a little slant. There's your slant. And let's put the go on it. The go. Brinkley did a good job of taking away the inside.
Yeah, and Giratutu did a nice job of making sure he caught the ball. He was underthrown. He knew he was going to get hit.
Giratutu holding that right elbow, but he's going to stay in the game here on 1st and 10.
Maybe a crazy bone. I hate that. They're crazy.
He's averaging 14 yards a catch today. His career average is 17 yards a reception. Probably see him on Sunday. Big hit by Schofield on Matthews in the backfield for a loss.
Schofield is the captain of the defense, one of those kind of between guys. Only weighs 250 on the outside. Number 50 just throws the tackle away, Wiggins, and gets in there. We've been talking about Chris Carter on the other side for the Fresno State Bulldogs. Schofield says, hey, I'm in this ball game.
Nine tackles and a sack for Schofield on the day. Colburn's throw a little bit high, but still caught at the 42 by Devin Wiley. Brinkley another tackle. Going to bring up a critical 3rd down midway through the 4th quarter.
And that's the first time that Ryan Colburn, at least when he's going to Devin Wiley, didn't give him a catchable ball. I mean, so he has to jump. He comes down all out of whack, which gives the defensive back, Finellis, time to break up on the football and make a play.
This drive started at the Fresno State 1. 12th play coming up.
Schofield inside.
Colburn finds Matthews heading for the 1st down. He got it to the 34-yard line. Here is Fresno State by 4 as they are now 10 of 14 on 3rd down. Matthews dives forward for maybe 2. Another tackle by Schofield.
Man, don't forget where this drive started.
Yeah, the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and what they're doing is what? Along with this, they see that tick, 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 tick. That clock is running.
Schofield shaken up on the play. Remember Pat Hill's motto, anybody, anytime, anywhere. They'll play anybody in any time zone, no matter the record or the ranking. And Fresno State has beat a lot of automatic qualifiers. 14 in the last decade. Looking for number 15 as Robbie Rouse takes it to about the 29-yard line.
And because of that motto, partly because of that motto, they have 12 games this year. 7 of them are on the road, and only 5 are at home. Usually it's just the opposite. You normally have 7 or 8 home games and 4 or 5 road games. They go on the road a lot to play anybody.
Ryan Colburn perfect on this drive. And on 3rd down, 3 of 3, 46 yards. Play action. Colburn going for it all. Just overshot his intended receiver, Chasten West. It's 4th down and 4.
Well, if you're going to miss it, you need to miss it a little bit long, and that's what he did. He'd been right on all those long throws today, and that was you're going to miss it. Like I said, it's miss it long.
If you're long and never wrong, Bob.
Kevin Gessling will come on and try a field goal. He missed 7 field goals last year. This is a 45-yard attempt. No good. So Wisconsin holds. Badger football down 4 when we come back to Madison. Fresno State leading by 4. Its defense has played well under first-year defensive coordinator Randy Stewart, taking over for the late Dan Brown as Clay is loose in the secondary. Might go all the way. Inside the 20. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Badgers back on top. .72-yard touchdown run by John Clay, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year.
You know what? This is set up by Paul Christ. They fake the quick sweep to Gilreath, coming around the end, get the whole defense flowing with that play that they ran twice before. John Clay cuts it backside, Bob. The rest is history.
Welch's point after is good. Wisconsin by 3. So that missed field goal by Gessling coming into play. He missed 3 against the Badgers on field goal tries last year.
Right up the gut. You're right. He faked the reverse. Good blocking up front. The center, Cons, and all the rest of them. First time that Wisconsin's been ahead today.
Well, we talked about the traditional jump around in between the 3rd and 4th quarters here at Camp Randall Stadium. They love it so much here in Madison. They dedicated a particular ice cream to it, calling it jump around. It's vanilla with marshmallow swirls and chocolate-covered peanut butter footballs.
What?
I know Spielman was eyeing the strawberry there, but
I take it. I like vanilla and chocolate myself.
A.J. Jefferson will run it out. Across the 20-yard line. And pushed out of bounds by Welch, the kicker, at the 34. And on the first play after the missed field goal by Gessling, Clay with the touchdown run. Broken tackle is Tutu, tough to bring down. Eventually stopped at the 46 in Wisconsin territory by Jay Balak.
Watch the offensive line for Wisconsin. We've been talking about this all day. They're going to be straight blocking the guy right in front of them. Everybody blocks the guy in front of him. No guys pull. Cuts it back right behind the left guard, Bashir. They've done a nice job. We said 4 new starters in that offensive line. That time, everything worked.
4th penalty by Fresno State. Matthews can't find a hole. Wrapped up by O'Brien Schofield. He has 11 tackles in the game.
Bad run envisioned by Ryan Matthews. He had Andrew Jackson pulling around, but he cut it back up into the pursuit. Stay outside, follow 69. He's going to lead you to the promised land. Don't cut back inside where all the bad guys are, especially if you have a pulling guard.
Second and 18 at the Fresno State 45. Colburn out of the shotgun. Nowhere to throw, so he'll run. Takes a shot at the 45-yard line from McFadden and brought down.
This is his first year playing. He's a 4th-year junior. If you're not going to throw the ball downfield, at least get rid of it. Don't take a sack. He's not the greatest runner in the world. So if you don't complete the pass, get rid of it. Back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, make sure you get rid of it behind the line of scrimmage because you had offensive linemen down the field.
Look at Jay Balai right there.
Jay Balai will come up and make noise when he hits now.
That was the center, Joe Bernardi.
Yeah, he's a woo guy. And that means when he hits you, you can hear the crowd go woo. Woo.
Colburn will run. Stood up after maybe a gain of 2. And Fresno State will kick it away.
Well, I think you have to kick it away. 2 timeouts left, 2:59. You hopefully get a 3 and out.
Malone to punt. And it takes a Fresno State hop all the way to the 4-yard line. All right, guys, you're Wisconsin. You have a 3-point lead with 2.5 to go, but you're backed up inside your 5. What do you expect to see from the Badger offense?
Power ball. That's what they are. They're power ball. But Paul Chryst, the offensive coordinator, if he sees an opportunity to throw something and throw it long, he'll do it.
Well, the priority number 1 is to make Fresno burn those 2 timeouts. That's what you do. Priority number 1, you come out, you take your time before you snap the football. Let the play clock run down once the clock gets going.
But all you want to do right here, if you're Wisconsin offensively, you want to make first downs. You don't care about touchdowns. You just want to make first downs, and like Chris said, make them burn their timeouts and then burn the clock.
Well, Clay went for 72 the last time he touched it. Trying to find a hole here in Camp. Tackled at the 7-yard line. Fresno State would call 1 timeout. You would think, well, maybe Pat Hill will hold on here, see if they stop him on 2nd down and then call timeout. 2nd and 7 for the Badgers. And Tolzien on the keeper, tackled at the 5. Interesting play called there, and now it goes from 2nd and 7 to 3rd and 11. And Fresno State calls its last timeout, or does it hold on to it here?
I don't know if they were trying to fake out, Dave, the Fresno defense, because that was the play that John Clay scored on, and I don't know if he missed the handoff or what he was doing, but when I see the perplexed look on Coach Bielema's face, that wasn't the play that was called. I can promise you that.
And why not call the timeout here?
Well, you never get these seconds back. I would call it, but you never get them back.
See that play clock right there. You want to save, you want to run that down before you snap the football.
See if Wisconsin goes to the air here or just hands it off. They do with Clay, and he'll come up a few yards shy of the first down. Now Fresno State will call the timeout. Should get good field position with time on the clock unless they block it. And as mentioned, since 2002, Pat Hill's team has more blocks than anybody else in college football and punts and field goal tries.
45.
Texas number 2 at 41. Somebody pointed out in our production meeting very astutely, no Virginia Tech.
They're probably going to catch this ball. If they do let them punt it, we got 1:30 left. You're going to get this ball offensively probably with a little bit more than a minute. And in college football, even though you don't have any timeouts, the clock will stop if you make a first down and let you get settled and then snap the ball.
No penalties.
And they are going to set up the return. And Norton gets off a good one. Wiley will field it and go down immediately at the 42. Great hang time by Brad Nortman. Good coverage by the long snapper, Kyle Whiteum, making the tackle downfield. Well, this game came down to the end last year and on the left foot of Kevin Gessling, but he missed 3 field goals in the second half as the Badgers hung on to win in Fresno 13-10. Missed a 45-yarder in this game. We'll see if Fresno State can get him in position for perhaps a game-tying field goal. They've got 1:21 to go. Down 3, no timeouts.
Well, it's going to come down to him again. I can at least it's going to come down to that if they don't score a touchdown, because they're going to move the ball.
Schofield playing through injuries. Colburn throws complete. And West, after he makes the catch and gets the first down, steps out of bounds.
Picked up 9 yards. It took 4 seconds.
Oh, a nice throw, too. A good job of adjustment with the hips on Chasten West. Look at the hips. See that breaking out and does a good job of turning. And Colburn puts the ball on the outside shoulder where only his man can get it.
Too much cushion again, guys?
Well, I would play a little cushion here. Now, as he moved down, you start tightening up a little bit, but you don't want to give up anything big. You got to play percentages.
Colburn on the move, tucks, and picks up maybe 3 to the 45. Clock running, no timeouts for Fresno State.
This is where it's tough. When a quarterback takes the sack, your receivers are all downfield. They got to hurry back. You got to get a play called. Your receivers are panting. They're out of breath. It's tough to take sacks.
Catch made at the 40-yard line, and West trying to head out of bounds, and he stopped the clock because he got the first down. At the 38-yard line, 44 seconds remaining in the game.
You see a veteran offense for Fresno State working. No panic. Everybody knows what we're going to do. And Ryan Colburn coming of age right before our very eyes.
They restart the clock on the ready for play. Inside 40 seconds now. First down. Inside handoff. Matthews all the way to the 24. And now they can get up there and spike the ball.
Well, you got the clock stopped at first down, so you can go ahead and run another play. Look, I don't settle for the field goal. I'm running and go. As you said, spike it, though, to get a play you want.
Yep, stop it, because, again, on the ready for play, they start it. That takes 4 seconds off the clock. Now you can take your time with 29 seconds left. But as you said, Bob, you can't get sacked, and you got to get out of bounds if you're a receiver after a catch. It would be from here about a 41-yard field goal for Gessling, who, as we mentioned, missed a 45-yarder in this game, and last year against the Badgers missed 3 times.
All right, what do you do here, Chris? Defensively, they've been soft. Do you come after him?
No, I protect the end zone, and I'm worried about that guy right there, Azir Tutu, at 6'3". It looks like they're playing a little bit of man here, man free.
Colburn throwing for the end zone, incomplete. A diving attempt by Darren Newborn. Now it's 3rd and 10.
That's why I play zone.
I like the play call. I like what Jeff Grady, the offensive coordinator, how he's doing this. Went for a shot at it. Told him to overthrow it. Incomplete. Good stuff.
Maragos was beat.
Yeah, he just got jammed. Maragos jammed him a little bit, just threw the timing off. Just a bit.
At some point, you got to look at the height advantage that Azir Tutu has over Brinkley.
If you take a sack here, the game is over. Well, see if they blitz. Here they come.
And again, a throw to the end zone and out of bounds. So with 20 seconds left, Fresno State will bring on the field goal unit to try to tie the game. Kevin Gessling, again with that miss earlier. Missed 7 times last year, 3 against Wisconsin. This will be a 41-yard attempt.
Wonder what his confidence level is, knowing the history of the Wisconsin kicks.
Gessling to try to tie the game from 41.
Attaboy.
Nailed it. And we're even at 24 apiece with 16 seconds to go in the 4th quarter.
Not that you're cheering for Fresno State or anything, but it's good for the kid who struggled against Wisconsin, comes back and makes one for his team. Good mechanics, snap, hold, and the Bob Greasy drive right down the fairway.
Nobody happier for his sophomore kicker than the head coach, Pat Hill. Because he could have gone to the other kicker. Andrew Shapiro was kicked as well, but stuck with Gessling.
Nice tackle, Gessling. Bringing your hips, your feet.
That'll have to postpone the celebration of the normal 5th quarter here at Camp Randall as we are going to overtime. Overtime coming up from Madison. Overtime in Madison. Fresno State and Wisconsin tied at 24. Only 10 points scored in that second half, after 38 total points were scored in the first half. I mentioned the 5th quarter here in Madison. That's where everybody stays in the stadium for the band to play after the game, and that's postponed here for overtime as Wisconsin will have the ball first at the Fresno State 25.
You know, Wisconsin's been missing a key offensive player throughout the game. We haven't seen him in a while, and that's number 6, Isaac Anderson. Has not been in the game.
And also remember the starting center in this game, Travis Frederick. End around Gilreath on the first play. He scored on that play earlier, and this time picks up about 6, bounced out by Nico Heron at the 19-yard line.
That was the same play that they scored on from that long run by John Clay. This time they gave it to Gilreath and faked it to Clay.
Gilreath has stepped up big with Isaac Anderson out. And Isaac Anderson scored on a reverse last week, an outside run. Gilreath has filled in nicely.
2nd and short. Clay running left. Got the first down. Finally slammed down at the 10 by Ben Jacobs.
Watch Cons, the center that has stepped in without much work, pulling center. Watch him become the lead blocker. 66. Take a look. Gets to the next level. Drive your feet and let the big fella John Clay use his strength and power to get every inch that he can get. Outstanding job by Cons, number 66. What a good job he's done all day.
First down just outside the 10, so they can get a first down before getting into the end zone. Flag down. Here's Clay, and he's down. No gain on the play. Chris Carter in there for Fresno State.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And they've changed the terminology on that. They used to say not enough men on the line of scrimmage. Now they just say too many men in the backfield. That's what was the call there.
Potato, potato.
And whatever the hell you call it, it's going to drive. It's going
It's a 5-yard penalty.
It's going to drive an offensive coordinator or coach nuts.
Oh boy!
But they declined it, so it's second down. Fresno State declining the penalty. Still doesn't matter. Here's Clay, straight on. Muscles his way to the 7-yard line. It'll bring up third down at about 6. Ben Jacobs made the play again for Fresno State. 13 tackles for Jacobs. You guys surprised they declined the penalty there?
Well, they just wanted to take the down. Obviously, they wanted for them to eat up a play, and we'll see how that turns out.
Well, I think they're already in field goal territory, so you want to go ahead and make them use it down. Down here in the red zone, look for Nick Toon at 6'3". He's down here. Garrett Graham, the tight end. There's Toon and there's Graham.
Tolzien to throw. Looking for Toon. Diving attempt. He got it. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
It's your money, man.
Just like his dad, Al Toon, former Badger and New York Jet.
He's working on number 4. Damian Owens does a good job of pushing into Damian, creating space. Nice little push off by Nick Toon. Good, subtle, and good strong hands. Good pass by Tolzien.
That's what his dad was known for. Terrific hands. Had his career cut short in the NFL because of concussions. But hoping that his son can one day follow in his footsteps. Toon's first touchdown of the season. And now Fresno State have to score a touchdown and the extra point to tie.
Gets away with a physical play. Good veteran receivers know how to push off without pushing off.
Good throw by Tolzien.
That's the money man. That's his comfort level. I mean, and then Nick Toon, remember earlier in the game, earlier in the fourth quarter, they had a big third down that he underthrown Toon. This time, I'm coming back to you, Nick. Make the play. The ball will be there as promised. Promise kept.
So now Ryan Colburn will take his turn. Colburn making just his second start, had 3 first-half touchdown passes. Fresno State's offense didn't do much in the second half, only 3 points. Need a touchdown and an extra point to tie the game and send it to a second overtime. Colburn, pass underthrown, still caught and then dropped. The ball came out and ruled incomplete as Tutu couldn't hang on to it.
He had to wait for that ball. He was open, and the ball took a little time to get there.
This one he has to throw on a rope. Good job by Devin Smith of not giving up on the play, coming in with double clubs on the arms to try to rip the arms away from the football. Mission accomplished.
Still got to catch that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you had to wait.
Yeah. That ball hung.
And now they're going to send the quarterback Colburn wide to the left and have Matthews run their version of the Wildcat. They did that with the Bond Feathers during regulation. Here they do it with Matthews. Good second effort. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage before Mike Taylor brings him down.
Wow, I don't know. Feathers has not been in the game, and since when? The first half at least. Maybe it was the first quarter, maybe the second quarter, but it's been a long time. He was in game for 2 plays. Yeah. And now you bring him in a critical time in overtime.
Well, they elected not to there. They elected just to snap it directly to Matthews, and now Colburn will line up under center on 3rd and 10. Colburn pumps. Again, the pass underthrown. This time caught by Moore for a Fresno State first down at the 10-yard line.
Wisconsin's trying to play man-to-man. That was open with Ajir Tutu the 2 previous plays. Now they come back to Marlon Moore working on Brinkley, and Brinkley got caught up. You're going to take a look at Brinkley right here. He's almost going to lose his balance. If he falls down, see him right there? He's kind of his back pedal, almost lost his balance. If he falls down, Marlon Moore gives this Fresno State team a chance to tie it with the extra point.
Colburn pumped it, and then he came back. I like this kid Colburn. He's really cool under fire.
From the 7-yard line. Colburn looking for Ajir Tutu. What a grab! Touchdown, Fresno State.
It's all day.
What a terrific catch by the 6'4" Sei Ajir Tutu, being covered by Chris Maragos.
Again, it's the height matchup, and he's your best receiver in the red zone. So we sit there and mark it because we know that's where he's looking. Soon as the snap, and this is a great job, Bob. His guy is 6'4". Maragos is 6 foot.
Go to the back of the end zone. The quarterback has to go throw it as high as he can.
Kicking into that student section, no problem. Right down the heart to tie it at 31. We'll go to a second overtime in Madison. Well, we mentioned at the top of the telecast what a big day this is for the Big Ten in terms of an opportunity to change perception, with the obvious big ones later. Michigan, Notre Dame, which is about to kick off on ABC, and Ohio State, USC tonight on ESPN. And give Wisconsin a lot of credit, coming back from 2 touchdowns to tie the game, set it to overtime, and now we're in our second OT. Fresno State will get the ball first this time.
And they flip ends of the field. They go to the other end of the field, and the team that had the ball first in the first overtime was Wisconsin. Now they flip that also and give it to Fresno State first.
All 4 of Fresno State's touchdowns have been through the air. Looking for number 5, pass underthrown and intercepted in the end zone. Great play by Maragos to step in front of the intended receiver and make the pick. Chaston West was the intended wideout. Again, that pass by Colburn was underthrown.
Well, he could have thrown it a little harder and got there a little quicker. See, he just lays it up too much. He's got it. He should have drilled it instead of laid it up, and then Maragos made a great play on it.
And we preached what, Bob? I heard you say it. I've been saying it for 8 years. As a quarterback, if you're long, you're never wrong. Either your guy gets it or nobody gets it. Maragos did a great job of not quitting on the play, still hustling back and getting his head around to go up and make the play. He's been a big play guy. Last week, he made a big 4th down stop, and this week with the interception in OT.
Wisconsin a field goal away from winning it. They'll keep it on the ground with Clay. And if you're Wisconsin, how do you call this here if you're Paul Chryst?
I think you're going to be a little bit conservative, and I think Fresno State defensively is going to be aggressive. So I think there's going to be a time where Paul Chryst is going to take a shot for a big play. But you know, a field goal from right this distance is no gimme. I mean, you got to move it. You got to make a first down or 2.
I asked my kicker, where do you want it?
He's missed a 47-yarder, but made the 57-yarder at the end of the first half. Clay again into the secondary and got the first down inside the 15.
This is what Wisconsin is offensively. They are power ball. They have always been that since Barry Alvarez came. All the great running backs that they've had. And they haven't had that many great quarterbacks, but good offensive lines and good running backs. Power football.
John Clay making a statement.
Yes. Had the 72-yard run showing speed. Now showing his power on this drive. Clay again. Cut it back to the 10-yard line. Put up there by Ben Jacobs.
Well, that's a repeat of the play just to the opposite side. They got something going. The whole Fresno defensive front is pinching inside, creating a short corner for John Clay, and he's being patient and using his eyes to take the outside and not stuff it up in there when there's nothing there. Good patience by John Clay.
Surprised they're not kicking it here?
I think you go to third down and maybe you kick it, but here, just put it in the middle of the field.
Clay inside the 10 and will come up short of the first down by about a couple of yards. It'd be about a 23, 24-yard field goal here on third down.
You know, the college hash marks are wider than the pro hash marks. So if you're over there on that hash mark, and the closer you get to that goalpost, the tougher angle it is.
That's why you say you put it in the middle of the field, then you can kick it on third down just in case you have a bad snap.
Well, they didn't, though. They ran it left.
Well, I think this is going to be somebody getting this thing in the middle of the field. Run to the right.
Clay running right and gets back to the 5-yard line, maybe got a half yard, and now ball in the middle of the field on fourth down. They'll bring on Philip Welch to try to win it.
Now, as a defensive line, you want to get this one up the middle. You want to create penetration, get 2 yards of penetration, and rise.
Welch to win it from 22 yards. Wisconsin comes back from 2 touchdowns behind in the first half to beat Fresno State in double overtime. And they beat a good team today. Fresno State should probably give Boise State all it can handle Friday night on ESPN.
Good snap, good hold, good penetration, hands up, good kick.
So Wisconsin wins it in double overtime, 34-31. Badgers go to 2-0. Fresno State falls to 1-1. Don't forget on ABC, big one for Michigan against Notre Dame, and also for Ohio State against USC tonight on ESPN. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Chris Spielman, Bob Greasy, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Madison, now to Reese Davis in the studio.